Welcome to another Friday night. This is On Fire Family, and this is Happy Hour. Cheers. Hey, in unison even.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Hoist the mainsail, here I come. Ain't no room on board for the insincy. You're my witness, I'm your mutiny.
Well, you are joining us tonight from Bashi Creek, just off the TENN-TOM. The TENN-TOM is right out there, and we are on Bashi Creek, and there's some green stuff floating in the water, which thankfully actually scared off a few loopers tonight, and so we are here with only one other boat anchored just ahead of us. So a nice, quiet, protected anchorage here. Should be a delightful place.
Yeah, it's a sunny day. It had started rainy, but the greenery, it's supposed to be like Jurassic Park in here, and it's very cool, and the kids are excited.
Yeah. Let's catch you up. We've done some non-standard videos lately, and so it feels like a long time since we've talked by sitting down, having some drinks. The AIS is going off. I think probably a tow is out here. Mason, can you change alarm? Oh, you're fine.
Just turning it off.
Oh, turn the whole thing off. Yeah, that works. Thanks, bud. So, when we're anchored in off a channel or something like that, we leave our AIS on all night long. And that's so that tows can see us from miles away and know that we're there and we're anchored. It provides more security than just an anchor light that's on and hope that they see that.
And we're pretty deep in a creek, but sometimes we're just right off of the main channel, and so we want to be seen.
Yeah. And so, but back in here, we don't need to have AIS on tonight because no tows are going to make it through this. We leave it on sometimes, too, for our looper friends to be able to find us. In particular areas where there's no cell service, Nebo doesn't work. And so locating people like, hey, did you anchor here? Are you over there? That kind of thing can be spotty. And we have no cell coverage right here. So we're really off the grid for tonight. So AIS, we keep on when we're in danger of getting run over by a tow, and off when we're in nice, quiet, protected places. Anyway, so we thought we would catch you up on...
we've done a lot of miles.
We have. So we left Paris Landing and started on the kind of upper Tennessee River section, or not upper for the Tennessee River, but for our portion of the Tennessee River. And we had spent some time at Paris Landing after the rendezvous.
9 days total.
And so the big pack of loopers that were there kind of dispersed, some on a side trip to Nashville, some on a side trip to Knoxville, and others heading down the rivers. And so we started looping with small groups of boats, some that we'd been with before and some not. So our first stop was Birdsong, which was a little dicey getting into.
Very dicey getting
Pretty
into.
tricky to stay in enough water so that we didn't hit bottom. But we followed the markers, we followed the directions from the marina, and we got in, no problem. It is a marina with character, but it also has character in that it is the U.S.'s only...
North America's only.
Only or most biggest?
Only
pearl farm.
Freshwater pearl
farm. And so we got to go on a little kind of tour inside of how that process works, and got the kids some education on that.
Science.
And so that was cool. From there, we went to Clifton, which was a delightful little marina, and we were docked right next to, or on, the fuel dock, which is right connected to the restaurant. And a super nice family that owns that marina.
Super sweet family. They serve an early dinner so that they can go home and, have dinner. And then we had docktails with everybody inside the restaurant, and so it was just a good homey kind of a place.
it was really neat to be tied up right next to it. So like we're having dinner and you look out and then there's Witness sitting just right there. And in fact, the dog was up on this table looking at us having dinner inside the restaurant. So.
And the next day we woke up before sunrise as normal, and we're getting ready to go. There was a little bit of fog inside the marina, but we were over a berm from the river, and when I went to take the trash out, I was like, oh, no. The whole river was sucked in as far as I could see, and I got some pretty amazing pictures of that, and it took an hour and a half for it to burn off, and so we're just twiddling our thumbs, and there was ice out, so I was climbing up the steep ramp in my flip-flops 5 or 6 times.
Unseasonably cold for just a few days there, and that's kind of what happened. Mm-hmm. But it's since warmed back up to normal kind of seasonal temperatures, and we're kind of back to normal for this part of the world.
Right. At the same time, back home Portland, it was 20 degrees warmer than normal, and so I was jealous because he talked me into bringing one pair of jeans, and here I am, cold in Tennessee, or were we in Tennessee yet? Whatever. And they're warm in Portland, but it worked out. Now it's warm again.
So from there, because of the fog delay and lock, there was a lock at the end of our day to get onto Pickwick Lake.
Yeah, which is gorgeous.
We got delayed, and we pulled in right at sunset. Mm-hmm. It was actually one of the more beautiful times we pulled in, but getting a little dicey in terms of arrival after dark. So we made it. It was delightful, and
we pulled into Aqua Yacht,
and Looper friends caught our lines. It was amazing, and our time at Aqua was incredible. Wish we could have extended and stayed longer. Our kids met up with Gold Looper Kids, and they had a great time.
MomWithAMap.com.
Yep.
They had lemonade stand. The boys had lemonade stand, and they did much rip sticking. And the older girls, they did a science thing where they helped clean up the Tennessee River for several hours. They both want to be marine biologists, which is fantastic. 2 peas in a pod. And we had, dinners together and just hanging out together. And we wish we could have stayed because we have more Looper Kid family coming, but that are Aqua right now. But we have to move along.
Yeah. They also had a kind of a season-ending party there at the marina, which we seem to have a habit of crashing, and so that was delightful. They had a band and a keg of beer and a spread of food, and it was just fun to hang out with fellow loopers and that party atmosphere. There was a Halloween costume contest, and
Mesa won the funniest
Mesa
costume.
won the funniest costume for Stitch,
yes.
Which we'll show you a picture of. But we just had a great time there, and that was one of the departures that I think sad.
Yeah.
It hit us the most because it was just things were going great. We also had an opportunity to tour Shiloh while we were there,
National Park.
yeah, which was really good. Somber experience, I think, but good for the kids. A lot of history, a lot of education too. So from there, we had a long day. It was already planned to be a long day.
Yeah.
And then we had 4 locks to get through.
At the end of the day.
And we had...
They were all in the afternoon.
A tow, and if you don't know, commercial traffic goes first. And so we had a group of 8 boats, 8 boats, that were on kind of the same itinerary and moving at the same speed because we're all getting stuck behind. We can go faster, but it just doesn't make any sense because you're going to get stuck at the next lock behind the same tow.
Yeah.
And this one particular tow made it into every lock ahead of us every time, and we had to wait for them to go down, and sometimes a tow to come back up so that we could go down. And so we
made a dumb decision.
Not dumb, just everybody, all of us did.
We all did.
All the loopers.
Safety in numbers.
And so we all pulled in at 10 p.m. to Midway Marina. And hats off to Midway.
Props. Super props to Midway.
Show you the conditions and the area that we pulled into. Guys, we are here at Midway Marina in Mississippi, near Fulton, Mississippi. And it's a stormy day, so we had a long day yesterday. Actually, the second longest day we've had on the Great Loop. We got started at getting the boat ready at 6 a.m. We left the dock at 7 from Aqua Yacht on Pickwick Lake, and made it here through 3 locks to get here. We pulled in here at 10 p.m. last night, so pitch black. We got delayed at all 3 of the locks with barge tows going through the locks, and so it was a very long day. And being out here in wind in pitch black was not fun. So we had 6 boats that came through the last lock and made these last 5 miles from the lock down here to Midway. And I don't know if you can see out here, there are tiny markers in addition to the nav buoys, but there's a thin channel that gets you into the marina, and they were shining spotlights to try to get these boats in here last night. We got out of the channel, they saw that we were getting out of the channel, and they told us to get back over to get in here, but it was not an easy experience at night to do that. It was an ordeal to get that many boats in that late at night in darkness and in a narrow channel to get into their marina. Yeah. And they pulled it off.
And they all left work that day at 4:30, and then they all came back to bring us all in, and just fantastic customer service.
Yeah, and the restaurant there was awesome.
Oh, so
we went up and ate a meal.
I had a Mississippi sandwich with fried green tomatoes and fried chicken. Yeah.
And so then we went on anchor. So on this section of the TENN-TOM, there's not a lot of marinas, and so you anchor. And we enjoy anchoring. Like tonight here on Bashi Creek, love it. We're in our element. This is terrific. Away from a bunch of folks. We're going to make some dinner here in a bit. But some people don't like to anchor, and so they maybe don't prefer this part of the trip. But we're loving it. And so we spent 2 nights on anchor then. Before our next marina, which was at Demopolis. And then...
yeah, those were gorgeous sunrises with the light fog and just amazing.
But longer days in terms of getting through locks and number of miles, just because there's not a lot to see and do.
Well, and
it's
there's
just
a lot
cranking
of,
through.
Right, there's a lot of extra tows from the Mississippi River because their water is so low. And so, yeah.
So we're passing a lot of tows. A lot of tows are holding us up in locks. We've had some amazing locking experiences and some horrific locking experiences. And so it just depends a lot on when you show up, how you communicate with the lock, and who's in line ahead of you. And so we prefer the early morning call ahead from the marina, get all the group together, and all show up at the same time. That works very efficiently. And then traveling together from lock to lock to lock, that works great. Doing it piecemeal, showing up after some group of pleasure boats have just walked through, tends to not work out as well. You'll be idling or anchored for a long time waiting on the lock. So and so we are heading for the Gulf. So this stretch, again, no marinas, so we'll be anchoring out the next 3 nights and then heading to Mobile.
Mobile on the 4th night.
Yeah. So thank you guys for coming along and catching up with us. We're having a great time out here. This stretch, I think it's a love-hate thing. Some people love it, some people hate it. Yeah. I think we're somewhere in the middle. We have days that are great, and we have days that...
They're great for homeschooling because the water's calm.
Yeah, and I enjoy driving the boat, generally, passing tows in narrow channels, not as fun.
Today, I lost count. 6 or 7 or 8 even tows that we passed.
And so what happens is they will pass us throughout the night, and so we will...
We get them tomorrow, too.
Catch up with all those tows tomorrow. Thankfully, we have, from here, only one more lock before the Gulf. And then we are lock-free for, I don't know, until we get to, like, back on the Chesapeake, Dismal Canal, something like that. So, anyway, thanks for joining us. We will see you next Friday with another happy hour.
Cheers.